So, we have that long old age tradition of telling scary stories at a campfire. Creepypastas are very similar. Creepypastas spread across websites, social media, anything on the internet you can think of. And of course, it could just be a storyteller's scary imagination, but that doesn't make it any less scary, right? And some people are like, what if that was true? And what if it actually happened? One of these on the list, I actually have a lot of support on why it could be real, because my grandma says she remembers hearing about it. Scary, right? And a lot of other people also mentioned they heard hearing about it. So this is the scariest creepypastas ever told, Part 1. Just so you know, I give you a fair warning that if you're watching before you're going to sleep, I recommend you continue watching. If you hate me and you're watching before you go to bed, continue watching because you'll hate me even more at the end. Let's get right in. Number 1, the Russian sleep experiment. In the 1940s, shortly after World War II, the Russian army exposed 5 people to a chemical gas with the intention of keeping them awake for 15 days. Within a few days, those 5 people went insane. They were locked from the outside world as well. After the 15 days, the researchers went back inside of the facility to see what had happened to the 5 subjects. 4 out of the 5 subjects were alive. 1 was devoured, used as a food source, even though the subjects had food provided to them. And the people, as right here, were partially mutated, flesh and muscles torn from their skin with their own fingertips. And as a matter of fact, today, people still don't know exactly what happened or what the intentions were of the scientists, but the results are undeniable. Number 2, Slender Man. Slender Man is a tall, thin figure, usually wearing a black suit and a blank face. He is known to cause insomnia, paranoia, and memory loss. He is known to stalk people and kill children. If you see this man, it is already too late. It is said that he has been alive since before the Roman era, and there has been multiple video games based off of the Slender Man. Number 3, abandoned by Disney. Theme park in Baker's Bay, Bahama, owned by Disney, was abandoned after a failed $30 million project. It has since been known as a ghost town. One man foolishly went onto the island and started venturing in the dark, eerie part of the island. This scary experience turned worse when he entered the mascots-only area. And in the mascots-only area, he found multiple Disney costumes laid out, right? One costume was a Mickey Mouse costume, which was laid a little bit more sinister than the others. And as a matter of fact, that costume was realized to be a murder victim. And as the man got his phone out to take a picture, the Mickey Mouse costume sprung to life. Want to see my head come off? The costume asked, and without waiting for an answer, the costume began to tear at its head and neck, yellow blood spewing everywhere. The man turned and ran out, noting that above the mascot's only door was a message written, "Abandoned by God." The man has never returned since, and nobody has ever returned since that event. And it is unknown if that Mickey Mouse costume is still there waiting for its next victim. Number 4, the Rake. A team of researchers found over 24 documents about this mystical creature called the Rake. And just so you know, this picture that's right here is giving me chills as I'm recording this. These papers were written about multiple people's encounters with the Rake. One very famous story of this creature was a couple who were in bed. They woke up in the middle of the night and looked at the foot of their bed. At the foot of their bed was a creature who looked like a human and a really big dog without any hair. This creature was not looking at them, it was looking away from them. The creature then sprang up and crouched right in front of the husband's face, and this creature then later sprang off, heading towards their children's rooms. Before they ran after the creature, but before they could really do anything, they found their daughter, mutilated, and very close to death. Her final words were, "He is the Rake." Number 5, the piano. Young girl who loved piano music begged her parents to give her piano lessons, so they decided they were going to do that. One of the days, her and her parents were walking in the town when they realized and saw a antique piano in the shop, in a window of a shop. They went in, she begged her parents to buy the piano for her, so they entered the shop. The shopkeeper was an older woman, and her parents had asked, how much is the piano? She said $100, so they agreed and they bought the piano. The older woman agreed to deliver the piano for free to their house. And immediately the girl wanted to play the piano. Makes a lot of sense, because she loved piano, she wanted to play it immediately. So, her parents invited the relatives over so they could watch. She sat in front of this big piano, and as she was playing, halfway through the song, her hands began to hurt. They began to hurt, and she described this feeling as being poked and jabbed with needles. Oh, but that's not all the story. She continued playing for weeks afterwards, and one of these days, she had collapsed. And after that, she still continued to play, but she realized that one of the keys on the piano's keyboard were jammed. So then later, her and her parents decided that they were going to return with the piano to the old lady. The old lady decided that she was going to offer to fix it for free. Good price, right? And so what happened was the old woman decided that told the family leave, right? She ordered them to leave and wait outside. She said she would close the curtains because the piano could not be fixed if the curtains were open. She returned with the piano, said it was fixed, so they brought it back home, and their daughter became very skinny, bones and body almost skeletal. The parents then returned to the store with the piano, and the shop owner again closed the curtains. Curiously, the father peeked in and saw the old woman bringing out a red jar and drinking from it. They had later realized that this was blood. They realized that this was blood, and they decided that they were going to call the police, but the woman left immediately and was nowhere to be found. Her father was fortunately a skilled mechanic, so they decided to again return home with the piano, but this time, the girl did not play the piano at all. The father opened up the piano, and surprisingly, to what he did not believe was possible, the shop owner had put needles inside the piano, so when the girl would press down on the keyboard of the piano, it would inject blood from her fingers into the piano, into that red jar, which the girl had earlier taken out to drink. And basically, when the jar was full, one of the keys would jam, so then they would return to the shop owner. The shop owner would drink the blood, in which case it would now be fixed. Oh, but wait, there's even more! The family then sold the piano, and she suffered from blood loss, and the doctors had realized that there was a chemical in these needles which actually led to weakening the bones of her body. See? That's not all, and there's still even more. She died a few days later, and her bones were so weak that they could not create white blood cells to help fight the infection. The police had found an escape trap door in the instrument shop. The woman was never seen again, and the girl was buried at a church. Number 6, Jeff the Killer. Now, this next one is kind of sad, so if you cry, I wouldn't blame you. Jeff was a little boy who moved into a new house. While him and his family were waiting at a bus stop, they were attacked by 3 teenagers. He successfully defeated his attackers. He left them on the streets with broken bones and knife wounds. Jeff realized he liked inflicting pain to other people, and when he was angry, this seemed to get stronger. One night, his mother heard screaming coming from the bathroom. She decided she was going to check on what it was. She entered the bathroom, horrified as she saw Jeff carving a permanent smile into his face, as seen right here. Frightened, Jeff told her, "You should look like this too." Frightened, she ran away, trying to get to her husband to get his gun. Before she could enter the room, though, Jeff was already there with a knife. He told her, "Mommy, you lied." Then he killed her, and he killed his father. Ending up, his brother was left. His brother's name was Louis, and he was in his bedroom sleeping. He heard the muffled noises coming from his parents' room. Ending up, a hand went over his mouth, like that, and he felt a warm knife stab into his stomach. He tried to escape his brother's grip, but he was unable to. His brother told him, "Shh, go to sleep." He killed him. Jeff killed him. Jeff then escaped and was never seen again. Police later searched the place. There were no survivors, unfortunately. It is unknown where Jeff is now, and if he is still waiting for his next victim. Number 7, SCP the Sculpture. Secure, Contain, and Protect Foundation is an organization with multiple doctors, researchers, and agents who try to find and catalog abnormal activity. These creatures are known as SCPs. SCP-173, which is this one pictured right here, is described as a statue, and it only moves when eyesight is taken off of it, in which case it has to be observed at all times. If eyesight is taken off of it, it will kill you immediately by snapping your neck, which would obviously kill you. This means it has to be observed at all times. Number 8. Cove. Cove was a low-budget TV show which aired in between the years of 1971 and 1972. It was a show which showed a few pirates, a pirate Marionette and another pirate named Pirate Percy. Oftenly it is said by the people who have watched this show, constant nightmares go through the people who have watched this show, which they still live with today. A forum was started by someone who watched the show. Their name was SkyShale033. He recalls watching the TV show as a kid, and he wondered if anybody else recalls watching that show, that pirate TV show. As a matter of fact, he got a lot of responses about this. SkyShale033 recalls that he would stand in one place while watching the show, crying and screaming for the entire episode. Another person on the forum called Mike Painter 65, he says he visited his mom and asked about why his mom ever allowed him to watch this TV show. She replied with saying after dinner he would say he's going to go watch his favorite pirate TV show called Cove. She said that he would tune the TV to static and sit in front of it for 30 minutes a day. And many also recall the final episode of this show where there was a puppet bursting out at horrific screams, which led to many of them having nightmares for a very long time afterwards. Number 9. Robert the Doll. This doll right here was known as Robert the Doll. It was given to a man in the 1800s named Robert Eugene Otto, and it was given to him by a servant who worked at his family's house. He named the doll after himself. That's how it became Robert the Doll. And the doll later was seen to take its own life, basically like it became alive. And Robert left it until adulthood. He kept it for adulthood, and ending up it started to terrorize his wife to insanity. The doll was later given to the Fort East Martella Museum in Key West, Florida, and it is said that you must ask him to take his picture. You must ask him. So if he says no, your camera will not be able to turn on. Oftenly, there's been reported in the past that photographers have tried to take a picture of him, but their camera will shut off. They'll change batteries, new batteries, but their camera won't turn on. When they leave the location, their camera will start up as if nothing happened. It will just be full battery and full charge. And it is said that if you mock him or you take a picture without him asking, besides for the fact of your camera not turning on, he might possess you as something and might lay a curse on you. Today it remains in Key West, Florida, in the museum. Number 10, No End House. Houses are very popular places during Halloween. No End House promised $500 to whoever could survive the trip through its 9 rooms. A man named David Williams decided he was going to take the risk for the $500 prize reward, and he went in, but he quickly regretted his decision. As each room went on, they became worse. They became worse and evil and more sinister than the others before that. David battled his way through insects, monsters, and he even witnessed the murder of his own parents. Upon entering room number 8, he finds a clone of himself with a knife nearby. On his clone's chest, is the number 9. He is forced to essentially kill himself in order to escape. He gets his hands on that $500 price and quickly goes home. The only thing is that when he gets home, he realizes that the number 10 is etched into the door of his house. All he can do is laugh as he realizes that there really is no end to No End House. Alright, thank you everybody so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to check out my links. Oops, that's the wrong way. Make sure to check out my links to the side of the video, like this one. If you guys would like to request a topic, you guys can just hit that link. It's in the description. I have an annotation there, but the links are not supported. So check out the description if you'd like to suggest a video. If you guys would like to see way more of me, make sure to check out my link below my face, my gaming link, where I play any game, let's play, whatever. If you guys would like to subscribe to this channel, I have the link below my gaming link, as well as I also have some videos here. Oops. I also have some videos here on my gaming channel. I just started a new series called This is the Police, and I started another one called Jalopy. Very interesting games that I'm playing on there, so woo, we're finally done with creepypastas. I think I'm going to do a part 2. I'm going to see if one of my friends from the fair I work at wants to help me out on one of these videos. I want to see, you know, if he wants to do one with me, because that was kind of cool. It's interesting, you know, and I feel like I want to do a part 2 of this. Maybe if he wants to help me out, then I'll do a part 2 of it. But yeah, that was kind of creepy. Today is Creepypasta Day. As a matter of fact, I got a few posts on Facebook talking about creepypastas. I got some crazy stuff going on, and the weird thing is that while I was researching for this video today, I lost internet. While I was researching, I lost internet. Weird, right? So weird. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Now you're just a little bit smarter and maybe a little bit more freaked out. You know, to be honest, Jeff the Killer one was a little bit a lot for me, to be honest. But anyways, now you're just a little bit smarter and a little bit more freaked out. See you later. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. See you later. Bye. Oh, and I also have my sources down in the description. If you'd like to learn more, my sources are down in the description below. Now we can go on to the bye. Bye.